You are watching Hot Takes Live. It's a long day. There is a lot of content. This is session 4 of the second half of the abstract. We like to remind people because
Yay! Ops!
hey, yes, Rosalyn, we're very excited to have you.
Thank you.
And your session is going to be around ICP. What's wrong with the definitions? Stage is yours.
All right, thank you. Well, so welcome everyone, and thank you, Armando. Thank you, Tori, and the Breadcrumbs team for the opportunity to be here today. Really sharing a bit about a topic that's a passion area for me, really your ICP, right? Or your ideal customer profile. Oop, can you guys see my next screen? Perfect. Okay, so my name is Rosalyn Santa Elena, as Armando introduced me, and I am the founder and Chief Revenue Operations Officer at the RevOps Collective. So we are a go-to-market and RevOps consulting, coaching, and community company, really focused on unleashing the power of revenue operations for organizations, but also for individuals. So prior to starting this business, I've been a long time RevOps practitioner, really before we called it RevOps, leading teams in almost a dozen different companies over the past 20 plus years. In fact, I started out in technology on the finance side before PCs or personal computers were even a thing. I mean, literally, I logged into a terminal, right, at a little DOS prompt. So been around for a bit, and definitely excited to be here today. So, in my line of work, I have the opportunity to speak to dozens and dozens of companies, right? Founders, CEOs, CMOs, CROs, and of course, RevOps folks. But I often see the same challenge when I ask, what is your ideal customer profile? And it really it blows my mind a bit because oftentimes companies are not really sure, or they say something that's a little bit broad or very broad, or it's vague. Like maybe it's just, oh, my ICP is B2B SaaS, B2B SaaS companies. And, it feels like companies are often confusing TAM, right? Your total addressable market with an ICP or who that ideal customer is. And so, your ICP at an account level should be the best, most likely to buy accounts, right, for your product or your offering. And these are the accounts that are really the no-brainer, right? They have a need for your product or offering because you solve real problems for them and really help them achieve those, critical objectives that they're striving for, or you're solving pain, right? But really solving real issues for them. And oftentimes I see ICP just not being defined, right? Again, where it's vague, it's unclear, or it's just too broad, where you take this kind of spray and pray approach in your go to market versus having really focused, targeted programs where you can clearly measure how effective you are, and how accurate you are in your assumptions. And I also see companies, wasting time, wasting resources, wasting money, right, on the wrong accounts, and oftentimes with very irrelevant messaging. I mean, how many times have, you received an email or a call trying to sell you something that has absolutely nothing to do with you, right? Or your business. When I think about being a RevOps leader, in prior companies, I've had companies try to sell me, office supplies, trying to sell me hand sanitizer, right, during the pandemic, selling me like security, developer outsourcing resources, all types of things that are, products and services that are just completely unrelated to what I do. And so companies are not only, wasting time and wasting money, but think about their brand, right? And their reputation, because what kind of impression does that, leave on me or leave on you or leave your prospect, right? They're thinking like, these folks need, they need a better go-to-market strategy. They need to define their ICP, and they probably could use some RevOps help too. So, what are companies doing wrong and why should they even care? Right? I mean, too many companies do not understand who their ideal customer is, and why should you spend time, right, on defining and understanding that? I mean, think about if you don't understand who you should be buying, who should be buying your product or your services, how can you tell or convince a prospective buyer why they should care, right? And why they should be buying. So really understanding, who that right customer is ensures that all of your downstream initiatives, your processes, all the activities, your campaigns, right? Your account plans, all of those things that encompass your go to market overall, all of those can be focused, right? And they can be designed towards acquiring those customers, right? The right customers who will not only purchase, but they're going to stay with you, right? They're going to renew with you. And in the SaaS world, they're going to expand with you. So all of your content, your collateral, your messaging, your website, right, all of those outbound activities, how you segment your territory plans, right, books of business, targets, quotas, everything else kind of begins, right, with that understanding who those customers are that you're trying to target. And then you can build all of those things in a way that's focused and targeted to the folks that you want to reach, right, and the folks that are most likely to buy. So when you think about, especially in a market like today where budgets are being tightened, everybody's being asked to do more, or, as I like to say, do better with less, you just cannot afford to spend time or money on activities that are not going to yield the best results. We have to be focused. We have to spend where we have the best likelihood of success. And when you have that right ICP definition, it means that you are spending, you're spending time there, but also you're able to measure and see what you're actually doing, right? When you're targeting this very broad market, it's difficult to even see what's working and what's not, right? So having that right ICP definition means that all of your teams, right, from marketing to sales to post sales to customer success, everybody is aligned. And then they all, not only that they're aligned and marching towards the same goals, but they have the right tools, right, and the right information to be successful in their roles. So, how does having this well defined ICP help enable your strategy, right? And optimize that execution that we all want in your business? Well, I think, for all the reasons that we've discussed so far, but really just to kind of highlight and reiterate. So, when you have this well defined ICP, you're really helping your potential customers and buyers understand why they should care, right? Why do they need your offering, and why do they need your product or your service? How is your product or offering going to help them be successful, help them achieve, their goals, and help them overcome their challenges, or, solve again some pain that they're feeling. And then you can be laser focused on that messaging and everything around that, building that messaging to help your potential customers understand that. And again, having a well-defined ICP, again, focus, 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 right? Helping you focus your resources, things that we don't have a lot of, right? Time, money, right? People, we just don't have enough resources. And so you need to focus your resources on the right programs, the right processes, the right activities, and all those right actions that are going to yield the best results. Right? It's all about outcomes. We talk a lot about process and all the things that need to happen in your end-to-end kind of revenue funnel, but at the end of the day, it's about outcomes. It's about results, right? And you want to improve and have the best likelihood of success from a revenue perspective. And with this downturn market, this is just so much more critical than ever before to be efficient, but even more importantly, to be more importantly, to be effective, right? So not only you want to be efficient, you've got to be effective. And so lastly, I think having that well-defined ICP ensures, again, that you acquire the right customers, right? The ones that are going to realize value. They're going to benefit from your product and service. They're going to, realize and achieve that return on investment faster, which means that they're likely to not only stay with you, but to grow with you, right? Which is what we all want, especially in SaaS. We want net dollar retention, right? We want to retain and grow. So my key takeaway, and this is actually my quote, Having a well-defined ICP to me is the launching point, right? For revenue growth, it's a launching point for retention, and it's that launching point for success. Now, if you're looking for some help with your ICP definition, you can tell I'm very passionate about it. I'm excited about it, and I believe in it. So feel free to reach out, book a free consultation, and see if we can help you.
This was great, Rosalyn. Thank you so much. If there are questions from the audience, feel free to write them in the chat. We'll pick them up from there. I particularly care about your session and your topic. It's surprising and baffling to me how of a poor job most companies, even later stage mature organization, do at their definition of ICP. Would you agree that that's mostly the case by and large?
Yes, I do agree, because I think oftentimes folks forget also that it's iterative, right? It's
Yes.
constantly you should be constantly iterating on that ICP and improving it. And so
Yeah,
sometimes
they have
it's not
this
a one and done.
idea that like came from the founders, or like based on like some anecdotal like data, or like they did a survey on 100 people and now they have like 100,000 customers. It's like, and they don't know, and they're not
Exactly.
looking for it. So what's a good way of either like getting started or changing that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I
would you
think
recommend?
Yeah, I think getting started is the idea is focus, right? And start small, right? Yes, you want to sell to everybody. And I think that's the kind of the mindset that they're worried I might miss out on somebody if I don't
Sure, like
target them,
B2B,
right?
not really, right?
Exactly, right? But it's not about trying to sell to everyone. It's about trying to figure out who you should be targeting. Doesn't mean that if somebody outside of your ICP comes around and wants to buy, of course you're going to sell to them, right? If you can
Right.
support them. But the idea is to focus in on, okay, who are those best customers, and to test, right? Like anything in business, we're always A/B testing. We're always
Right.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
what's working and what's not. And then from there, as you acquire new customers, ask your customers, right? Look at the customers that you do have that are successful, and what are those characteristics of that client or that
Yeah.
account, that, why did they buy from you? What made them buy from you, and why do they stay with you? And I
Yeah.
always tell folks that, especially even for companies that leave you, right, it's even more important, or equally important, if not
Right.
more important, to understand why did they leave, because it something that could have been done differently in your process, your implementation, or your services, or is it that they were never a good fit to begin with? And so
Hmm.
all of that information needs to feed back into top of funnel, right?
Hmm.
And continue to iterate. So I think folks just, I think there's a sense of, they worry that, oh, if I don't target everyone, then I might miss out on a sale, right?
No, I mean, being
Or,
specific with regards to the ICP allows you to be specific with regards to the messaging, right?
yeah,
The clearer you have like an ICP definition, the more you can be intentional and like personal and interesting and maybe memorable with your ICP.
that's right. That's right. And you're talking to that account,
Yeah.
right? You're messaging to them, and it needs to resonate. Like
Yeah.
I tell you, like half the outreach I get has nothing to do with me.
It's like,
People are,
why they were like this happening?
right? They reach out and like, oh, we see you're hiring. It's like, no, I'm not hiring. And there's all kinds of, yeah, I see a lot
I
of
hear
that.
you.
I've actually, yeah, been at companies where they actually try to sell me what we sell,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
which is
crazy.
like not super smart. So Megan from the chat is saying ensuring they become brand ambassador for you, not detractors, is also valuable, which absolutely agree on.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
curious about your reaction on this one as well. I think another part of the problem here when it comes to ICP definition is that most operators think about ICP as kind of a static thing, one and done.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's not that. It's the current definition of ICP based on the currently available data for
Mhm.
the specific region that you're thinking about, right?
That's
And
right.
so, like, as you get more data, it might evolve. If you're thinking about different regions or different moments in time for the same region, it might be different.
Yes.
Do you agree with
Yes.
that?
Yeah, 100%. And like anything else, it's iterative, right? It's
Right,
you've got to put that learning back into the process,
right,
because otherwise it can quickly become stale, right?
yeah,
Like you said, who your ICP is today, with the market shifting, I mean, think about 3 years ago when the pandemic hit, right? Now all of a sudden you're targeting different accounts, right? And you're trying to be more focused. And not only that, you're also targeting, personas within each account differently.
Yeah, and it might be the market, it might be you, it might be your customers, it might be competitors, right? It might be that someone is like coming to play in your own playground, and now you have to react to that and cater to like slightly different type of customers with slightly different type of messaging as a reaction. Love it.
Absolutely.
Rosalyn, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, and thanks everyone for watching. Let Rosalyn know how her session was with the quick survey that you can see here in the chat. We'll be back in under 5 minutes.
Great. Thank you.